Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Fight 1-4 podcast with your hosts, Max Karabine and Alex Piconia.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, Alek?
What's up, dog? How you doing?
Yo, I'm pretty good, bro. Pretty excited to do this episode, of course. Fight 1-4, episode 6, as we're gonna review what went down at l'Olympia last Saturday for Silvertooth Promotion, last show of the year. We're not live because this week is my girlfriend's birthday. So
happy birthday.
we're going out for dinner, broski. We have all kinds of stuff. So we had to do it on Monday night. Thanks for accommodating your boy Max.
Oh, no problem, man. No problem.
Here we are, my G, man. What's everything? What's up with you, G?
No, man. You know what? Being back on the construction site this morning, loading like tons of pallets of concrete was a reality check. You know what I mean?
Because not only you were the announcer, but it was at l'Olympia, man, which feels like 10 times like the energy and like the just everything is just 10 times better when we are at l'Olympia, man, which is like the perfect place for this kind of show. And what a show it was.
Oh, God. Unbelievable. Just first off, let's start with the venue. Like, remember how we had the conversation previously? I think when we were talking about Empire, about like the cool venue and stuff like that. But honestly, the Olympia, man, you walk in, it has like the old kind of, I don't know, architecture, I guess, from the inside. I don't know what you call it, but everything's like made out of wood. It's carved. It looks like it, to me, it looks like it's hand carved. You know, even the ceiling is decorated. It's just absolutely beautiful. That like old school golden, like gold with the red, you know what I mean? Like it looked absolutely wild. I loved just walking up there, and then the bathrooms are located upstairs, and you actually get to see, you know, the stage. You actually get to see the ring and everything, like the setup from upstairs. I even posted a picture on my story at the time. I was just like, wow, because literally it looked like, wow, you know, like it just looked absolutely wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. So, next year will actually be Olympia's 100-year birthday, man. This building was built in 1925, man. So
that's wild, dog.
Yeah, and it's a crazy venue, man. It's one of the best place in Montreal. Like, of course, for fighting, but even like for comedy or like just pure theater.
Yeah,
like, this is the place, man. And Silvertooth has a way only for their second show there, and even in the first time they added, instead of like having the ring on the stage, they have it like just in front of the stage, so you have VIP people on the stage who has like crazy views, and then you have like the theater with the second floor, the balcony. This place is nuts, and
yeah.
It was insane. It was jam-packed, full house at l'Olympia.
It was a full house. It was super cool, man. It was really cool.
Downtown Montreal, on Sainte-Catherine. And I told you before the event, I'm like, we're going to show everybody that Montreal is on the map, and Silvertooth is one of the greatest promotions we have, not only in Quebec, in Canada, but in North America. And like,
yeah, for sure. Phil, the thing is, what a lot of people don't realize is Phil lived it. You know what I mean? Phil lived it. He was a professional fighter. He lived in Thailand. You know what I mean? His wife's a Thai woman. Un, shout out to Un. She's awesome. But he lived it. So he knows, you know, like what really makes a good fight. And his matchups are always awesome. This card was like, he was like a magician just pulling a rabbit out of his hat. You know what I mean? He was it was completely fantastic. Every fight was awesome. Every matchup was awesome. Yes, a couple of things fell through. But you know, Phil, he's put on banger of cards like all year. All year was bangers. You know what I mean? So hats off to Phil, man. He did it again.
Oh yeah,
and kudos to everybody involved. DJ Red Dread, you know what I mean? Alex running everything in the back. You know, you, Conrad, the video guys, the stage guys, you like the ring guys. You know what I mean? The top ring guys. Like everybody played their part. You know,
the whole squad,
dog.
But those kind of shows wouldn't be possible without the man fighting inside of the ring. So let's get into it. And first fight of the, because we have a lot to talk about. We have some controversial things to address, and of course the main event, man. I could talk about Meana and his performance for ages. So let's get right into it.
Yeah. Let's yes, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Let me just.
Jordan Goulet won the fight, first fight of the night against Kélian Carmon. You just told me off the air that like it's the first fight, so you kind of you tried to watch a little bit, but of course you're getting like it's starting and you have so many stuff to do and like so you didn't quite like catch the whole fight.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, I caught as much as I could, as I possibly could. You know what I mean? Because that's honestly that's why I'm there as well. Like I'm a huge fight fan, as
Oh
you know.
yeah.
So I do my best to try and catch as much as possible. But like the first couple of rounds, I wasn't able to catch everything that I had liked. But how did it go from your perspective? You know what I mean?
Honestly,
You're dissecting it. You're not just
yeah.
watching it. You're dissecting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
it's funny because Conrad and I we were really like in the back, so we couldn't. I watched one fight like from my eyes on the ring.
mhm.
Besides that, we just watched the monitor for the whole time, which was kind of cool too because the quality of the camera and the production was very very good. So it was just like we were watching fights at home and calling the fights, which was kind of fun.
Yeah, production
But
was beautiful. Yeah, sorry.
oh, it was crispy. If you ordered the pay-per-view on millions.co, I'm sure you got way more than you paid for. It was a good fight, honestly, to start a night, the very first fight of the evening, to be a fight of this caliber was honestly very, very impressive.
Yeah.
B class fight. I know you said
Mhm.
like it's only B and A class, so you were expecting a no helmet kind of night.
Yes.
We had some helmets in
Couple.
here or there, unfortunately for us.
Yeah.
But the first fight, there was no helmet. Jordan Goulet from Crew Boxing and
What a
Brazilian
gem.
top team in
Yeah.
Montreal faced Kélian Carmon from Track Fit. Kélian Carmon really impressed me. His first official fight in Montreal. He had two smokers before, but
Okay.
that was his first kickboxing like on a big stage fight here. But he had
But
some experience back home where he's from Guadeloupe.
okay. Yeah. No. He came out. From what I remember seeing, they looked very like neck and neck for me.
Yeah,
From what I saw.
absolutely. Yeah,
From what I saw. It was an interesting fight. And like I said, though, that first fight sets the tone.
yeah.
You know what I mean? This is the one that really like engages the crowd, and if it's not a good one, like it's it could be a rough night for everybody else, but the crowd for the rest of the night was attentive. They
Yep.
were loud, so like obviously the boys did some big things, you know what I mean?
Well, honestly, bro, it was one of the best fight of the like the first part of the card, like the Quebec versus Ontario. From the like the 6 or 7 first fight, Jordan
Mhm.
Goulet versus Kélian Carmon to me was one of the most technical. Like those two guys were like very very good, honestly.
Yeah.
And Conrad and I kind of had Kélian Carmon winning the fight 2-1. Uh,
Okay.
it ended up being a unanimous decision for Jordan Goulet, which
Yes.
you can't be mad at. But honestly,
Mhm.
from what we were, Conrad and I, we thought Kélian Carmon has done enough. But like it's his first fight on the scene. It was Jordan's fourth fight, so like I said before, we got into it. Like win or lose in amateur, it's only about like getting some experience and like finding your groove inside of the ring. So
Yeah.
like kind of had the fight for Kélian Carmon, but I'm not mad. Jordan Goulet got it. Of course, Jordan Goulet is coached by our friend, the one and only Charles Jourdain.
Yeah.
And Kélian Carmon in his corner had Francis Carmon, who I told you is his grand cousin, who was in the UFC. So we had two UFC fighters in the corners for this first
That's
fight of the evening.
awesome. That's really
Just
cool.
just shows you how like Hollywood-esque this night was. We had a couple other like big names that I'm gonna get into
Yeah.
later, but yeah, this shout out to Jordan for his win and Kélian Carmon. Honestly, I was very impressed, and like you said, kind of the same size, same build on both guys. It was honestly one of the most technical fight I've seen this night.
Yeah, they look perfect matched up,
Yeah,
honestly. And I know, look, Killian is newer on our scene, but I'm sure in 2025 he's going to be doing bits. You
yeah,
know what I mean? And excuse me, Jordan was coming off of a loss in ballistic limbs, which was a really tight one. And man's been working hard. He's been working his ass off to get this back, right? So I even was able to. I ran into his girlfriend right before the night. Actually, I was talking to you, and then I heard her. She turned around and she saw me, and then we started talking. So it's hard to talk to you, Max, at these events because
Yeah.
you always get pulled away by somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, but I ended up talking to her, and she was telling me like he's been in a completely different mindset since the ballistic limbs fight. He's been putting in the work as much as possible, and she's like he's ready for this. She was like it's the first one he has without a helmet. So she's
Yeah.
like, but I know he's gonna kick some ass. She's really supportive. She's awesome. So, and look, he showed up, man. Kid showed
Yeah.
up and he did bits, man. Good for him.
Beautiful fight. Beautiful fight. And then we had the Karate Kid again from Track Fit. So
Yes.
first two fights we had fighters from Track Fit, which is a great gym. And it was Reda Shise, the Karate Kid, who ended
Yeah.
up winning his fight, staying undefeated. I believe he's now 4-0. He fought
Mhm.
Cole Dugan from Soy Dog MMA,
Yeah.
B class 132 fight. It was a good fight, honestly.
It was a good fight, man. It was a good fight. Cole is a tough dude, man, because he took some punishment.
Oh
Reda
yeah.
is the Karate Kid, man. He's extremely aggressive. You know
Yeah,
what I
he's
mean? Looks like he's out of
explosive.
Cobra Kai. You know what I mean? And he's like,
Yeah.
so like, with all respect, and like he came out like aggressive. He was fast. He was light on his feet. He was doing some of that spinning shit. Man, he was an aggressive fight. Like shout out to Cole for sticking in there. It's not like he was a
Mhm.
slack either. He didn't give up, and guy took some punishment, but
Oh
he
yeah.
didn't go out. You know what I mean? Which is what we all want to see, right?
At the very beginning of each round, Reda hit him with a nasty right hand, and Cole just took it like a champ and
Hmm.
kept going. I'm happy. I'm happy for what Cole gave us. Honestly, cool performance for a guy coming all the way from Hamilton.
Mm.
Get Reda is chasing you like a madman, so it's easy for guys to just like say, "Hey, tonight's not my night."
And
But
fold up.
yeah, but Cole stayed in there the whole fight. And for Reda, man, I love Reda. Of course, he won the fight. He has an
Yep.
exciting style, but and that I said exactly that on the broadcast. I'm sure even he would say that was not one of his best performance. I've seen him in a better zone on better just I've seen him like do like not better because of course he won and he won the fight and stuff, but I know Reda wish he did stuff different because sometimes I felt like his feet were not very under him. Like I don't know if that makes sense, but he was
No,
kind of like outbalanced sometimes.
I 100% agree because there's a couple of times he threw himself off.
Yeah.
He got too hungry. Well, not that he got too hungry. Excuse me, that's the wrong kind of line. Like wrong kind of like way to go about it. He
Yeah.
got like he too excited. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? He's like, oh, I'm
exactly.
I'm nailing him, but you know what I mean. But then he
Yeah.
forego his footing. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
he let his feet like kind of separate from himself a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you need that little string that Mickey puts on Rocky's legs. He's like keep them together.
Yeah.
You know,
But
but
again, like Reda is super young. I think he's 22 years old,
yeah.
only 4 fights now, so he's just gonna get better and better. But
Oh,
I would love for
incredibly.
him, like you say, sometimes he's just over aggressive, and like if he would have taken a little bit more of his time, he might would have been able to finish Cole Dugan.
Yeah.
But hey, he won, still undefeated. So what more to say? But I know even he would say like, I wish I did some stuff different.
Yeah. His aggression just needs to be more calculated, is what it
Yeah,
is. You know
and
what I mean?
he's a world beater. Once you get that like on point,
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Reda
it.
Reda is very very good,
Bad
man.
man. Bad man. Big things in 2025.
Yeah, and same for Cole, bro. Honestly, man, I want to see him again. We have so many good promotions in Quebec that I'm sure we can find a spot for him if it's not at Silvertooth. But
It could be somewhere else 100%. But I honestly, that's one thing I really like too is like it, okay, how do I explain this? It's we're getting kickboxing and Muay Thai from somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it's like yes, guys go to train in Thailand, they come back, like they come back. Everybody goes and comes back. You know what I mean? But there's like, I guess not certainly a style in Montreal. You know what I mean? But maybe a style of organizations. You know what I mean? Like kind of thing. It's just nice to get other fighters from outside coming in. You know what I mean? And we've been
100%.
blessed. We've been blessed in I think in October and November with this show, with these last two shows that to really get that. You know what I mean? Fighters coming from all over Canada, not just highlighting ours, but like how do we stand up? How do we
Exactly.
measure against
Yeah.
them? You
No,
know?
that's what this Quebec Ontario card was all about. It's we test our fighters versus other Canadian fighters,
Yeah.
and that was the first W for Team Quebec.
Yes. Yes, it
Then
was.
then it was not Mathieu Bergeron who fought Louis Sutherland.
No.
It was Matteo Tatiti or something like that.
El Tatita.
Yeah,
Yes.
from Victory Training Center,
Yeah.
who
Yes.
probably took this fight on very, very,
On
very short
short
notice.
notice. Yeah. He was apparently, I think, on the original card that
Mm.
Phil had sent me, which had a lot more fights on it, as of course, how these things work out. He was originally on the card to fight somebody else, but I think it got canceled. It got canceled like early on, though. You know what I mean? So maybe he wasn't taking his training like or whatever. You never know how people react when they're like, okay, I don't have to fight camp anymore. Like I'm a chill, but like he gave us a show, man. He gave us a show. It was a very
Yeah,
good, like a crowd favorite. People were loud for him, and
yeah,
I'm not sure how that one went actually because I was running around at that point.
yeah. Well, Matteo. First off, kudos to him. Took this fight on relatively short notice, and same thing for Louis Sutherland. His opponent was expecting to fight Mathieu Bergeron, and then he fights this shorter guy in Matteo,
Yes,
uh, representing Mexico and Canada. Came out with the
the
shiny boxing shorts. Or like, okay, this guy's a boxer.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
then
yeah.
Louis was like towering over him.
He's a
So
big boy.
it really was like a smaller guy versus like a tall guy, and Matteo from Victory just camped running at Louis, and Louis had that good Muay Thai style and was able just to pick him up from distance.
Mm,
But then in the third round, Louis lost a point because I believe it might have been like two knees in the clinch or something like that. And right after he lost the point, he went crazy. He's like, okay, I just lost the point, so I need to do something crazy.
yeah, you need to get
Even
back
though
there.
he clearly won the first two rounds, like in his head, it's like, okay, so he kind of went mad at the end of the third round. So it was just Matteo and Luis running right at each other for like the last 1 minute. So that was
It's
quite
awesome.
funny.
That's
But
awesome.
Louis won his fight from Action MMA in Mattawa, Ontario, I believe. So it was
Okay.
1-1 Ontario, Quebec.
Okay. Yeah. 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 And then
After that, yeah.
we had Vadim Tukia. The guy reminds me honestly of Ivan Drago.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
saw
yeah.
this, like, I know I'm saying now it's two Rocky references. I'm not trying to do that right now, but he really has that Ivan Drago look. He took on Daniel Pereira. This
Daryl.
was sorry,
Daryl
Daryl.
Pereira.
Yeah, Daryl. Did I say Daryl?
I think you said Daniel, but
Oh, okay, my bad.
yeah.
My mistake, Daryl. Daryl. Daryl Pereira. I believe this one was also a last, like not a last minute replacement, but I think like a week out replacement, and they didn't
Yeah.
have the blood work done, and that's why they had helmets on.
Mm.
But it was honestly what a great fight! Like
Two
great.
giants.
They were perfect. It was like perfect
Yeah.
date. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? They were awesome. Fantastic. I just had this image in my head actually at one point. I think they were about to start the last round, or they had just separated them, and Vadim was just standing in his corner, in the red corner on the far side, and he was just like had his hands up and he was looking at the guy, and his face was just pissing blood because he got I don't know what he got to the face that made that happen there, but it was a lot. It was very like nonstop. You know what I mean? They were
Yeah.
very action packed fight. That's what I remember. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
100%. Like, not as technical as Goulet versus Carmon, which is
Mhm.
why I said in the beginning, like, this first fight, man, Goulet versus Carmon could have been way more up on the card because I feel like those two guys were more technical than the last two fights we just talked about. But
Mhm.
Pereira versus Tequila is just like the battle of the giants. You know, it was like strong power coming from both guys,
Yeah.
especially from Pereira, who, like you said, busted Tequila's nose with what was like a very hard punch. Like I'm not
Mhm.
sure if it was a left hook or a right hand, but it was a huge punch that made Tequila's nose bleed.
Yeah.
And Tequila, he has a funny style. He's a karate guy. He likes to go forward, and he's not scared of anything.
No, that's why I like him, man. Like a little
Yeah,
Terminator, you know what I mean? Just kept going, and that's one thing you got to give him credit for. He was a tough son of a bitch. He didn't
yep,
quit. There's no quit. That's one thing. That's one
no,
thing I love about amateurs because there's
yeah,
a lot of them. Eh, they don't understand the word to like quit. You know what I mean? They basically doing this for like the name now. If they're doing it for their amateur record, they're not getting
yeah.
paid. You know what I mean? Like maybe some of them have some sponsors, yeah, but there's no major companies right now investing in anybody right now. You know what I mean? At the time being. So
Yeah, you said the right words for now.
for now, for the time being, right? For now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
man.
Tequila,
So
no quit in him,
yeah,
that's for sure. And
nope.
Pereira, man, funny enough, like he kind of looks like Alex Pereira, and he hits like a truck.
Yeah. Dude,
And
he's big, man. When
yeah,
I saw him, I'm like, damn. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like and like and thick, like he's thick and muscular, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And Vadim, bro, this guy's he's shredded as hell too. So it was a perfect
yeah.
matchup.
No, it was a good matchup. And
Couple action figures.
Pereira clearly won that fight, unanimous decision, all the way from Toronto.
Yeah,
And he was representing Team Bazooka,
yeah,
whose coach was Joe Valtellini, aka Joe Bazooka. I don't
yeah.
know if you're familiar
Glory.
with him.
He fought for Glory kickboxing, no?
Yeah, Glory champion.
Yes.
He is the Glory commentator now, and I had the chance to meet him in the back before the fights, and that was a huge honor for me to meet Joe Valtellini. And what a guy, honestly. Super humble, super nice. He knows Charles Jourdain because Charles went to his gym to train. So I
Okay.
was just chatting with him and Jourdain like for 25, 30 minutes before the show went
Awesome.
on. Bro, I had the time of my life. Like I hate
Yeah, for sure.
BKK. I had BKK Express food. Shout out to the sponsor.
Yeah.
It was reminding me of what I ate in Thailand. Honestly, it was papaya salad. It was like all that good Thai stuff from BKK Express. Shout
You
out to
never
them.
left, bro. You never
And I
left.
was just eating, talking, and watching Joe Valtellini, aka Joe Bazooka, and Charles Jourdain. I was just fanboying on my
Yeah.
Thai eating, bro. It was crazy, man. So it was so cool to have him here, honestly, and what a guy he was, Joe Bazooka. And he came here for only one fighter, man, from all the way from Toronto, and Cole Dugan all the way from Hamilton. It's far, bro. It's like 7-8 hours drive,
Yeah,
and they
it's
came.
a good drive, you know.
Yeah, they came all the way from there. So shout out to those guys, man.
Well, good,
So
they got on the card of the year. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah,
like, if you're gonna come down, there's a couple of good, like, that actually, there, it's always worth it to come to travel for the fight.
very good
Just
exposure.
yeah, very good exposure, and like, it's always better to do it out of your hometown. Nobody knows you here. It's
Yeah,
easier
100%.
to feel, I guess, less nervous because you're like, yo, I'm not saying that they say this, and I'm not trying to be like, offensive to anybody, but like, it's almost like you walk into a new town, you're like, fuck these people. I don't know these people. You
Oh,
know what I mean?
100%.
I'm gonna kill their boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
mean, you played hockey when you were younger. I played soccer, and when you go out on tournament and you go far, you're with your team. Like, there's a
yeah,
different kind of vibe, relate to like going
yeah,
away
bro.
and do your thing. So
Start
it's
shit, flip off the parents. You know what I mean? You're like, I'm that kid, and then your dad just like, oh
yeah. And
shit.
shout out to Silvertooth too, because the tag price of the pay-per-view was only $20, which is quite cheap if you compare it to other promotions doing pay-per-views.
Yeah,
20 US bucks is very, very good price.
yeah.
And so people from Toronto, from Hamilton, who wanted to see their guys compete, I'm sure that a lot
Get a
of
great
them
bang.
bought the pay-per-view.
Yeah, actually, if you stayed home, you might have saved a little bit of more money. But to experience something live in person, I took my mother-in-law, dog. She's like a sweet, Armenian woman. She was
Yeah.
like born in Syria, you know. She's like, in Aleppo, dogs are everywhere. They're not friendly, you know. Like she's all, you know, she's one of those like cute Armenian ladies. Speaks like
Yeah.
5 languages though, you know what I mean? So pretty crazy. But
Yeah.
like she's like, oh, I've always seen, you know, sports, and my brothers and my father used to watch it growing up, like boxing, you know, of course, like
Hmm.
old school boxing. She's like, but to see it in person, she's like, I saw her looking over and she has like those big lusts, and she's like, you know, looking like she couldn't believe what was going on, you
Yeah.
know.
Fighting is for everybody, man.
It's for everybody, dude. It's for everybody. And then she's looking, she's like, Adrian, my kid, he's like, "Hey, how long has he been coming?" I'm like, since he's like 3 years old, he's been coming to this stuff. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And she's like, I'm like, he's seen hundreds of fight. Look, he's not even phased anymore. And I look over and he's
Yeah.
on a sticker book, just putting
Yeah.
Pokemon in
Yeah.
a sticker book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I know.
it's, it's so cute. But
Yeah.
man, awesome, awesome.
Dan, man. Mike Gold, bro, man. Mike Dahl, Mike Jones,
The
the one and only.
return, the
Yeah.
return, man. People,
You.
when people like when he hit the when I like just announced him just walking up, people went nuts. You know what I mean? He was obviously a crowd favorite,
Yeah.
and him and Adele Daras from West Side Muay Thai,
Yeah.
like they had very like well similar records in the sense of losses, obviously, you know what I mean, but like but both I think two of the most experienced guys we had on the card,
Bro,
you
crazy.
know,
I.
25 and 11, 17 and 11, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And well, I mean now,
Shee.
you know, now 26 and 11 and 17 and 12. But
Yeah.
the fight was amazing. They were both the perfect stature for each other, like perfect, like long. Yeah, it was at 147 pounds, but they were both long, and man, what a killer, man. Like both of them, what a killer. You know,
Yeah.
Mike had that nice high guard. He even
Oh
got cut
yeah.
up on his nose and stuff like that. Like those long kicks with the knockdowns. Whoa! You
Oh
know what I
yeah.
mean? Mike Dog, you
It's
know?
like he never left, man. Honestly.
I know he looked beautiful in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had a couple of buddies who were in the crowd too, and they were just like, and I was like, I told you, dog, like this guy's the guy to watch out for, you know?
Oh
It-
yeah.
So Mike,
Nasty striking, nasty kicking game. He dropped him a couple of times. Of course, in the first round, it was a low blow, which took Adel Dares down. It looked like it was
it,
a
it did
bad
not
low
that
blow.
yeah, that knee, it was a knee, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly. It
probably. Yeah.
went up there, bro. It
Yes.
went, like, yeah, and you even heard the talk, and like the crowd did one of those, oh,
Oh.
you know?
Yeah. But Adel, man, he's a warrior. He stood up. But then round two, round three, Mike took control, man.
Yeah.
He stayed clean. Nasty, nasty teep to the body, kicks, good boxing.
Mhm.
He kind of pieced up Adele in the last two rounds, and
No, he did. He
yeah,
was putting on a slight clinic in the end. He had it really was going his way because I think maybe he shook the rust off,
yeah,
and then he settled into it, and he was
yeah,
like he was playing that nice like high guard long game.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a beautiful display of combat.
He
Beautiful.
almost had Adele out of there before the final ring, but Adele is a gangster, man, and he stayed in there, and they won fight of the night, man. So
Yeah, yeah.
kudos to them.
You know, absolutely wild. Yeah, they deserved it too. And those wonderful, wonderful paintings that were done. I don't know if you took a look at them,
Oh,
how
bro, I
sick
was
they were.
amazed. Yeah,
Did you see that? Xavier, shout out to Xavier, bro.
yeah,
Instagram handle done with heart. If you guys are interested in following him, he made these beautiful, beautiful paintings live, like live, like people are scrapping and he's there, you know, doing his
yeah.
thing. And he made these beautiful, beautiful works of art.
Oh man,
With,
I thought it was so cool. It was like one for the blue corner, one for the red corner, and just
uh,
like the two ends. Like it was beautiful. Honestly, I
yeah, and
was
like the passing of,
yeah.
dude,
No,
it was.
he crushed it. He crushed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, like I would, you don't, you could have sold those like beautiful, you know what I mean? Anywhere. I like after this night auction them off or something, you know. But the fact that they went, like that's a piece of work you're gonna have with you for the rest of
Yeah.
your life. You know what I
No,
mean? So
100%. Which leads us to the main event of the Quebec versus Ontario card. Crazy fight, of course, some controversy. We're gonna get into it, but
yeah,
Sam Bunch versus Dan Zhao was all that we expected. Like
it
honestly,
was.
crazy knockout artist in Sammy Bunch versus the guy Danja who always comes to Montreal and gets to go back home with the W.
Mhm.
This time he did not though.
No, he didn't. And apparently a lot of people were upset with that. But before we get into that, honestly, I got to talk to Sam beforehand because I saw Sam fight at Ballistic Limbs. We had a great time afterwards. We talked with each other for a little bit. You know, I got kids, I gotta go right away, you know. So, but I even saw him before the fight, and he was talking. He's like, you know, he's like, I know this guy's a solid guy. He's like, if I can knock him out, you know, within the first couple of rounds, like I know it's my fight if I can knock him. He's like, but if he survives the first two, that third round, he said it himself. Like he wasn't ignorant to the fact, you know. He's like it's gonna be a hard third round. You know what I mean? It might just go his way. He said it to me like 100%, like you know, hand on Bible.
He's
Um,
a vet, man. He knows what's up.
you know what I mean? And now I think his record is 13-10, but like, so he's been in the ring more than a few times, you know. And like he came out with that hard style, the same style that won him that Madison Square Garden knockout. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just that rush. He's like, he basically gallops, like, you know what I mean? Like you see like fucking lions like when they jump, you know what I mean? He kind of like he has that like galloping towards. He put on that
Yeah.
early pressure. He scored himself a couple of good knockdowns,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Against Dan, but you know there was a certain point where his fatigue showed,
Yeah.
and Dan really took control of that fight. You know what I mean?
Oh, the
He
knees.
The knees were extreme. Yeah, okay. He got, because the rule stipulates for the WKFQ, you know what I mean? It's one knee in the clinch and separate and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and I think in Ontario, if I remember correctly, when I did a show in Ontario for a fight for the youth, it was a charity event I did in April. Um they have a timed clinch. So I believe
Yeah.
you're allowed as many knees as you want
Hmm.
in like 3 to 5 seconds or something like that. You know, and then you're separated,
Yeah.
right? So, but so that maybe it's because he's used to fighting under those rules. You know, so he got a point deducted for the double knees and stuff like that, which towards the ending of the fight, he was correcting himself, like he would knee and kind of separate, you know what I mean? But um I think that might have ended up costing him a knockdown, as we were just getting into a little bit before, because he has that kind of like he kneed him and kind of pushed him away, which kind of Sam fell after, but it could have looked like yes, it was pushed. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, but overall, man, what an insane fight! It was so back
Yes.
and forth, dude. The crowd was barking,
Yeah.
bro. At the end, they were like, "Oh, oh, oh, oh," they were going absolutely wild.
Yeah.
Like not only just over like whatever controversy was happening, because it's so hard. I know how things look from the outside, you know what I mean, but for the referee, it's different inside of the ring, and for the people scoring it, they score based on what the referee is doing, you know what I mean, or what the referee sees or lets down, or lets happen, not let happen, you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
a lot of people, after witnessing the last round or the last I don't know, maybe minute of the second round, and then the last round, which Dan really did take control of the match. You know what I mean? I can remember seeing Sam after a couple of the times he was, you know, he spent a lot of time on the floor in
Yeah.
the last round, and only one knockdown was called. You know,
Hmm.
which I even heard some of the crowd screaming like, "Where's the count? What's the
Yeah.
ref doing?" Um, in a I didn't get to see all of the replays, but I did see a replay, and you know Dan was putting it on Sam for a second, and then I don't know exactly why the referee stops the, you know what I mean, he was just putting it
Hmm.
on, and then you know and then I don't know where it got stopped, you know what I mean. And I think even you guys on the announcer, because I heard on the replay you guys were a little bit confused as well. And then that, who knows like what would have happened if that rush that Dan was on would have continued, you know what I
Yeah.
mean. And then when you see things from a different angle, you can see how, oh, that could have been called as a knockdown. That could have been called as a knockdown. Again,
Hmm.
you know, it's my job as an announcer. I'm remaining impartial. I'm just from what I'm hearing, from what I'm seeing, from what I heard in the crowd, and from what I saw on the replay, like, I can see how the referee missed maybe calling those things. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So
And hopefully, the only guy who needs to know why all of that happens to hear that from the referee is Dan Zhao and his team.
yeah,
And hopefully, he was able to go see the ref after and get some kind of explanation, because
hopefully, yeah.
that's always what you hear, like when you watch the UFC and some judges cards like way out of play or anything. Like, you just want the fighters to have answer.
Mhm.
Like, it's okay, like you say, like there's only one referee, he's the only one seeing the fights with his own eyes. So
Yeah.
as long as he has an explanation for why he didn't call that and call this, we just want to hear from it. And the only one that really has to hear and need to hear that is
As
Dan
the
Zhao.
fighters themselves, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because like I said, it's different when it's different when you're in the ring. Bro, it's different when you're in the ring. You're not,
Mhm.
like, okay, if you're in the back of the fighters and then there was something that you didn't see as you're making the way, like, how are you supposed to call it if you didn't see it? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, and I can understand people's frustration, and I'm not trying to blame the referee, and I'm not trying to blame the judges or the WKFQ, because they did a fantastic job the entire night. You know what I mean? And we're gonna even get it. I had a message from them the next morning after um, the finish of the night, which we'll get into afterwards, of course. But I'm not trying to put any fault on anybody, but I'm just elaborating what has been expressed to me. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
From what I'm hearing from the mouth of the crowd and from witnesses. You know what I mean? But I understand both sides. I understand the referee side and the judge's side completely. You know what I mean? And you can't, when you're judging, you can't go based off of like, I thought that this guy did this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because yes, maybe Sam won on the scorecards, right? But the ending of that fight, it really looked like it was Dan's at the ending. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? And I'm just saying the way it looks. It's like, perfect example. Volkanovski versus Makachev won when he ended the fight and he was on top of Makachev. You
Mhm.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Makachev won on the points. But at the ending of the fight, you're like, yeah, but Volk won the fight though.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but he
Mhm.
won the fight. You know what I mean? You're not gonna tell me you won something when you're on your back and you're getting like pounded a bit. You know what I mean? If like somebody pulls me off of you, you know what I mean? Like schoolyard rules. Schoolyard
Yeah.
rules. The winner's
Diaz
on top.
rules.
Diaz rules, baby. Yeah, exactly. The winner's
Yeah.
on top.
Yeah.
So um so I see how it can go on either which way, but either which way, congratulations to Sam, congratulations to Dan. They both put on a banger of a fight. It was
Mhm.
one of the most entertaining fights. People were screaming their heads off. So,
Mhm.
and that's the fight game, man. You know what I mean?
They gave all they got, and it was for one hell of a fight, like you just said.
Yeah.
Tough fight to judge, honestly. I believe the scorecards was 27-25 for Sam Bunch, which is a crazy scorecards, because
Yeah.
so many points were taken. And like Sam, what changed, like what really, like I agree with what you just said. I believe Sam won the fight on points,
Mhm.
and Dan Zhao just won the fight if it was in the street.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the judges' cards is the point, and
Points.
I believe
Exactly.
Sam won that because of the second round when he dropped Dan Zhao twice
Twice. Yeah.
with a heavy right hands. And even if Dan
So
was very competitive, very strong, even
s-
if Dan was very competitive in that second round, you cannot like look past those two huge knockdowns from
No,
Sam
they were
Bunch.
big. They were big points, and even I was talking to the ref afterwards, and he said 2 knockdowns, 1 point lost. One knockdown, 1 point lost.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
And the
You-
first round, like you said, Sam came out like a bat out of hell. So
He dominated. That first round was scary. If I was down, I'd be like,
oh
"Fuck!"
yeah,
You know what I
like the
mean?
first half of this round, there's no, like Sam took it just on pure aggression, But then Dan was very good too at the end of the first round. So this round can go either way. Can
Yes.
give it to Dan, can give it to Sam. Second round, no doubt it's a Sam round because he knocked him down twice.
Yeah.
And third round, obviously it's a Dan
That
Zhao
round.
round.
Yeah.
He
Those
just
those
need him to oblivion. Like it was
It wa-
crazy.
yeah, and then that's where Sam got his point deduction because like he on the way down, I think he was pinching the glove with
Yeah.
his arm
Yeah,
down a
yeah, yeah.
bit, and which was dragging Dan's down as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's why he got his call. But that just shows the metal of Dan. You know what I mean? Man got two knockdowns in a round, came out the
Mhm.
last round, said, Mm-mm, you
From
know.
Sam Bunch, who hits like a truck, and if Sam hits you, usually like you don't go
Dude,
back
no,
up.
I think Dan and David Carpel are the only two
Yeah.
out of his last seven opponents
Yeah.
who are still awake.
Still, yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So like tough bastards, man. Tough
Yeah.
bastards. They're made of some kind of different material, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you talked a lot about the crowd's reaction, and it's funny because most of the crowd was behind Sammy Bunch. Like most of the crowd, I know Dan Zhao kind of had his own fans too in there, but
Mhm.
you can hear in the beginning that everybody was in there for Sam.
Oh yeah.
But when the scorecards was allowed, like the crowd was not happy with it. Like,
Dude, you honestly, I heard people yelling, and then I looked at some guy, and I'm like, bro, I just say it, and he goes, uh, I'm like,
yeah,
come on, man, like, I don't make the fucking scores, I'm like, I just
yeah.
say, this is my job, just to read what's written, I'm a robot, that's what I do,
Yeah,
you
but the
know,
concern, because you talked a lot about like the concern, like that you heard from the crowd,
yeah,
and from my perspective, Conrad's perspective, and some of the feedback I got from people there, what we didn't like is the way Sam just kept going down and down, and that's not on Sam, honestly. Like I said exactly that on the broadcast, and I hope Sam and Dan are watching this because I used the word dirty to describe like how Sam was acting in the third round, but I didn't mean it in a bad way. Like I said,
mhm,
I'm more francophone, so of course sometimes I try to find words in English, and dirty was the first word that came to my mind when I was
yeah,
thinking about Sam. He kept going down and down. But before using the word dirty, I said that was kind of smart and using IQ from Sam. It's dirty because it's not like a good sportsmanship,
yeah, it's a
but
different type of tactic, basically,
it's still like he used it, and it took so much time off the clock, and the referee was not telling him anything. So Sam's like, "Well, I'm just gonna keep go down, and we're gonna end the fight like that." If the
yeah,
referee is not taking a point or warning Sam, like it's Sam is he's gonna continue to do his thing, even if it's not like the most sportsman-like thing to do.
yeah, it's the
That's what he
boxer's
had
clinch.
to do.
It was like the boxer's clinch, you know what I mean? Grab him,
Yeah.
take out his momentum. Like, like once Dan started. You know what I mean? So it was
Oh,
like,
and
don't,
those knees, like, oh my god. I-
you
Like
know,
Sam still went back up every time. Like he
yeah,
like
dude. But
and he didn't seem like he wanted to. Like, and after his win, he came out with the poutine, and he's like, I'm gonna eat some poutine right now.
okay, let me clarify something with you. I can't eat on fight nights. Okay, I don't know. I can't. I get so nerve wracked that I'm just like I can't eat right now. You know what I mean? Like, and by the way, my wife, she brought me like a little slice of like little pizza because there's a pizza place down the street, and she brought me a slice of pizza, and I can't. I told her like, I'll eat it after. I get home, I look down at the box, and there's just like droplets of blood everywhere. I'm like,
Oh,
who bled on my pizza, man? Like,
on
come
the
on, man.
cardboard or
On the cardboard, on the cardboard, on
okay,
the
okay,
cardboard. Yeah,
not
yeah. And I made
literally
sure
on the
it didn't
pizza.
it didn't penetrate. I ate the pizza anyways. I probably would have eaten it anyways too. Like, I don't care. Extra protein at that point.
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah, that was so good of Sam to take his poutine sponsor up and eat his poutine. But then I go back and because we got the intermission after, and I go see
Mm.
Sam in the locker room after, and he's like, "Oh, what do you think of the fight?" And I'm like, "Bro, that was a war." And then I'm like, "Have you finished your poutine?" And he's like, "I'm not eating tonight, bro." And he was just like he was like he was touching his liver and his stomach, and he's like, those knees, man, they hurt so much.
Yeah,
And
dude, it
man,
looks so
that was
painful,
like
man.
Dan Zhao completely like destroyed him with the knees.
Yeah.
But again, Sam was up on the scoring cards, and the referee didn't do anything for Sam, who kept going back down and down. So I understand the frustration, but
Yeah.
if you don't cheat, you don't try. So I mean,
That's exactly it. And dude, but see, real quick, watching him eat that poutine on an empty stomach, it like I was like, this son of a bitch. You know, I'm so hungry. But you're absolutely right. It's like it's honestly, look, the reason I don't watch soccer, I'm a half Italian. My
yeah,
father's Italian, right? But World Cup is big time. You know what I mean? But every time we watch Team Italy and they go up on the scorecards, even if it's by one, they just stop playing. You know what I mean? And honestly, that's why I don't watch soccer anymore, is because of that shit. And but you know, you win like that. It's a tactic. You know what I
mhm,
mean? Yes, it's not the most entertaining. You know what I mean? It's like Jan Blakovic just lying on Israel Adesanya when he had, you know what I mean? Just lying on top of him and dirty blanketing, wet blanketing him. Sorry.
yeah.
Um, Same kind of concept. You're running out the
Yeah,
clock.
it's time wasting, and when you know you're up on the cards and you're getting beat up, like of course you're gonna do stuff like that. So it's not anything against Sam
No.
again, and I know it's like I was far from the action, but it is the referee's job to at least warn Sam and say, hey, because Sam fell to the canvas like 12 times, I
Dude,
believe.
he spent a lot of the last round on the floor.
So the referee has to warn him. Like after 2 or 3 times, it's like, brother, you go down one more time, and I'm taking a point. Or
Yeah.
because it's the same as when a fighter just keep like spitting his mouthpiece out because he's exhausted. You lose a point when you do that. And Dan
Too much,
Zhao
man.
kind of, because he could have finished Sam in the third round if it was not for all that time that wasted on the clock.
Yeah.
So
Well,
at the end, it was just good fight management from Sam. Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's exactly what it was. Good fight management. That's a good way of putting it. You know, it's the only way of putting it. Really, you
yeah,
know, he used it to his advantage, right?
exactly.
And he
You're
probably,
you're in a fight, bro. Like you're in a fight, so you're
yeah,
gonna
these
do
guys they're not.
everything.
No one's stupid here, huh? Like none of
Yeah,
these guys are stupid here. You know, so like they're not using any. Like they're not going to use something as like. The guy knew he was in trouble. He told me himself, if it goes past the
yeah,
second round, I might be in some shit, you know. So like and point he told me himself, and then exactly the point. You know what I mean? He started to get put on a little bit, and then he's just like, you know what, fuck it, you
yeah,
know. So kudos to him.
100%.
He secured his win. He secured
Yeah,
his bag. He secured his victory. You know what I mean?
and that's what I told Conrad. Like in a year or two, we're not gonna remember how that thing went. We're just gonna remember that Sam Bunch won against Dan Zhao at l'Olympia.
Yeah, and I will just remember
That's
that
it.
there was a wild, wild fight because
Yeah,
from the get go, it's like ding, 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 and you just see Sam coming,
yeah,
you know, like right off the right off the
yeah.
bat. So
I think we touched on everything honestly, and
yeah,
I'm glad we did because, like you said, there was a lot of talking going on about this fight, and I'm pretty sure we addressed everything. And it's like at the end of the day, those guys went at it for 3 rounds for our
mhm,
own pleasure, and
yeah, and you
kudos.
know what? And it's good for the people who were in attendance who watched it at home to hear this. You know what I mean? Type of thing. Like, uh, no one is at fault. The game swings like this sometimes.
Yeah.
People catch things, people don't catch things, people use different tactics, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? People shouldn't be mad at the ref. People shouldn't be definitely be mad at the organization because they've been keeping fighters safe and giving everybody a platform. That and because of the WKFQ, we Mayana said that we might have legal pro fights
I
here
know, man. I
next
know.
year.
We have to talk about that later for
Well,
sure.
I was gonna say later on. But you know, the WKFQ has they're putting Quebec fight scene on the map. And you know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean? Nothing but hats off, kudos to them. They're going out giving belts and giving awards to promoters and fighters and all that stuff. And you know, Dave Morin and his team, they deserve all the recognition. You know what I mean? Without them, we wouldn't have the scene that we have right now.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So shout
Man,
out to the
and
WKFQ.
I make errors every day at work. You'd probably do.
Yep.
Even
I
if
got
the
yelled at.
referee made a mistake, like it happens, man. And again, it's amateur kickboxing. Who cares if Dan Zhao has one more loss on his? We all know he's a gangster, and who cares if Sam
Woo!
has we don't care. Like nobody got injured. Like that's why
Most
the
important.
only word that came to mind was dirty when I wanted to describe Sam technique, but it like that's not dirty fighting. Dirty fighting is when you stick your finger in the eyes or when you kick someone in the balls like multiple times.
Yeah,
That's dirty.
yeah.
What Sam did
Bite,
was not dirty.
bite people and stuff. You know,
Yeah, exactly. It was none. It was none of that. So
none of that.
I
None of
I
that.
wish both guys and both teams and everybody can just like go on with
Yeah,
their life.
yeah,
No
yeah, yeah,
no
yeah,
big deal.
yeah.
Then our guy, man, the one and only, the
The
showman,
showman.
Nathan Morin, man. Hey, bro, I
Awesome.
gotta tell you that, man. That's a funny story because again, we had an intermission between Bunch and Zhao fight and Morin versus Natty fight. So I
Yeah,
go in the back when I went and see Sam, and I just catch Nathan like warming up, like just on the corner. He's with his father, which is his coach, and his other coach, and I say like, "Let's go, want to see." I'm like,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
went super fast. I'm like, "Let's go, want to see," and he just looked at me like not even did not acknowledge me, like he just did like,
Yeah, yeah.
and his father looked at me like,
Like, shut the fuck up right
yeah,
now.
and you see, man, when every time I see those guys, it's like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah, they're so
But I
nice.
just caught him and like he was getting in the zone, and even like let's say when he fought Matson Leon last time, he was not like focused, like like. But this time, I felt like he really, really, really wanted to get the W,
Bro,
and
I don't
like,
know why I'm getting chills, bro. I'm like,
yeah, he didn't want any distraction to go his way. Was getting in the zone, and gosh, it showed because that's one of the best Nathan Morin we saw, man.
bro, he was on it. And shout out to his opponent, Nadi the Shark. He was awesome, man. And it was a perfect matchup. You got two young guns going at it, hungry in their careers. You know what I mean? I know Nathan had an even record, which he finally broke. You know what I mean? In a good way, he got his W. He went from 7-7 to 8-7. You know what I mean? I'm not exactly sure what his opponent's record was, but I remember it being a pretty decent record. I
Mhm.
have it somewhere on the list over here.
Yeah.
But man, he was nonstop. His opponent took some damage, some heavy damage, but Nathan was you know what I told my wife is I love seeing him fight because it always looks so good.
Mhm.
It always looks
Oh,
so nice, man. You know what I mean? He's like stylistically maybe my favorite. Maybe right now the way he comes off, but it's unfair for me to say that because there's so many people I like actually. You know what I mean?
no,
So
you got the right
no,
to have your favorite G.
I know, but there's just so many. Like, because if I think about one, I'll be like, well, that guy's my favorite too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe she's my favorite. Or maybe
But
he's my favorite.
everyone knows we have a soft spot for Nathan Morin.
Yeah, man. Well, I just love it that the fact that when you find out he's 19 years old. I think even Jordan Goulet is only 20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These guys are kids. This is the future. You know what I mean? Like they're doing bits at this age. Where are they going to be in 5 years? They're
Yeah.
definitely not going to be. I'm not going to be announcing them anymore if I'm still in the amateur scene. You know what I mean? They're going to be
Bro,
far up and away.
if we
You know?
get pro kickboxing in Quebec, man, I'm telling you right now, you're announcing it, G, man.
Bro, let's go,
Yes.
man.
But yeah, bro, so happy for Nathan. And like I told you and I told
Yes.
Conrad just before he fought, I want to see like a smarter Nathan than we're used to see. Like, of course, he's the showman. He wants to show us that he's entertaining and stuff, but we know that. I wanted to see
Mhm.
like a Nathan who wanted to win. And when I passed by him before his fight, I'm like, okay, this guy is gonna
He's in
win
it.
tonight. Like
He's in it.
and it showed like because sometimes he gets bring into those wars that he don't like again every time it's like punches for punches and we're gonna go to war together. But this time I felt like he took control of the fight over Nadzi, and not once he said like, okay, we're just brawling. He like sometimes even Conrad told me like I wish Nathan would go for the finish, and I understood what Conrad meant, but
Mhm.
I knew that that's because he's learning and like he knows he's not gonna get like caught with something crazy. he kept his composure, and even if he didn't get the finish, like he controlled the fight from A to Z, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, honestly, it was, that you said it all perfectly from A to Z. He was just like in control. You know what I mean? There's times where I thought, oh, he's in trouble, like, and then he literally just shook it off and just kept motoring forward and just kept hammering, and just put on a fucking masterclass, man. He really was something else, man. I can't even imagine where he's going to be in a couple of years. And I'm looking at it as an entertainment, like from an entertainment side. You know what I mean? Because when I'm in the front, I don't have the mindset like where you and Conrad are. You're sitting down and you're watching it like objectively, like, okay, yo, this is going on. He's keeping his distance and stuff like that. I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, like that. That's me the whole
Yeah.
time. Oh, like
Yeah.
that's how I watch how I'm watching it. You know what I mean?
Oh
So,
yeah.
but from what I witnessed, you know, even my wife was like, damn, he was on it tonight. I'm like, I know, right? Like he was just on it. He was on fire. And you know, I think he had the Silvertooth tournament. He took an L at, and then which would have led to a belt. And then there was the Empire Fight League, which would
Yeah.
have led to a belt. And he's just like, you know what, motherfucker? You know, like I felt like he had for himself, maybe he needed this to get this back. He
Oh
needed
yeah.
this back. You know what
And
I
we
mean?
know David Carpel, even though he lost against Matson Leon, he still is the Silvertooth champ, and
Yes, he is.
I wouldn't mind seeing Carpel versus Morin next. You know,
I
that would.
said that, dude.
Yeah, I think Nathan with this win, I think you can put Nathan back in a title contention for sure.
I think so, man. I think so. That'd be a great one again. Um, fuck, man. Shout out to Nata. He deserved that one. He did.
Oh
He worked
yeah.
really hard, and his opponent Youssef was no slack. Everybody give it up for the Shark too. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah, good kid, good art.
yeah, he came to scrap, man. He was in good
Yeah.
shape. He looked good too. He wasn't a slack. He had good style, good posture, good hands. You know what I mean? So
I
it was a
and honestly, what gave Nathan like most of his he just it's the pressure, and he's just pressuring nonstop. And I think yeah, Youssef didn't expect a fight like that,
mm-mm.
like because he was on the back foot, and that you get exhausted when you're on the back foot all of the time, and you're just getting and every time you do something, the guy comes back, and it's like, well, this it was not Youssef's night, it was Nathan's night,
Yeah,
and I'm sure
relentless.
Youssef is gonna get so much better after that, and he's gonna learn from this loss. That's for sure.
Well, you know what they all do, and that's what I like about the amateur scene. You know, they're like uh, they're not under the stipulation of they have to protect the zero because it's amateur. You know what I mean? This is the learning experience. You know what I mean? This is your college right now for all
Yeah,
these kids. This is your college. This is your university for all these guys. You know, coming up. Like when you go pro, then you're at work. You know, then you're at work. But
100%. Which led to Case Saidi versus Gabriel Drexler, and if Nathan Morin was in the zone and it was his night, it definitely was Case Saidi night. This guy, this guy is good when he's on his game. This guy is very tough to beat.
dude, I was talking to Gabriel and he's like, dude, he's like, I was hitting him with bombs, and he would just like, and he's like, look, I snapped it. I think he sent me a video where he kicks him in the head, and you see the guy's head go, like you literally see Caius' his head goes snaps back, and then Gabriel's like, I snapped his head back, and he just like, like it kept moving forward. He's like, he was a tough bastard, and
Yeah.
dude, I don't know if you've seen Gabriel's legs,
Yes,
but I
yes.
but I think he's part horse. You know what I mean? Like they're just gigantic. He counts by stomping 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's how like his legs are so thick. And I'm like Caius was blocking, eating the shots, moving forward,
Yeah.
eating like kudos to him. He was eating and landing. You know what I mean? He's a strong puncher,
Yeah.
and he did the damage. He did enough to put away, not put away. It went to the judges, but
Yeah.
he did enough to beat Gabriel, and Gabriel is an amazing fighter. He won Ballistic Limbs belt earlier
Oh
this
yeah.
year, and I think he took a short notice fight recently too,
Yeah.
like you said, and he won.
Yeah.
So man, Gabriel's an awesome fighter from a great gym. So it was a great fight. It was a tough guy fight. I find like it was
Yeah.
just like it was a powerful fight. I find both of them were powerful men.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No, I felt like I don't know. I had the feeling that Gab was fighting a little bit over his weight at the 178. I felt like I know he has like three trunks for legs. It doesn't even like puts it into perspective. Like it's bigger than that. Like his
Yeah.
legs are big.
Huge. He looks like he could jump so high.
But it felt like from what I saw, it felt like Case Saidi was one weight class above.
Mhm.
Because again, Gabriel hit him with his best shot, and Case was like, "Bah, I'm
But
okay."
Does Gabe usually fight at 178? He fights lower.
I believe he can fight lower. I believe it. I'm sure sometimes he was a 165er, but don't take my word for that.
You
But
know,
I believe so.
I'd have to look at my older cards that I have him at. So,
Yeah,
but
because I felt like Case was a little bit too big for him,
he
and
did
not
he did look big though.
yeah.
Caius,
And yes, he got it, but he also moved very well. Case like he doesn't
hmm
even back up a lot. He just moves his head like "Shoot," and then counter punch. His counter punches in this fight was crazy,
hmm
and he kept it very simple too. Just use
yeah,
his jab. Is like very simple fighting, but that's what won him this fight. And Gab, since he was throwing everything he got and it wasn't doing any damage, he kind of went a little bit like you know when you're doing ski but you go like off track,
yeah.
like he went a little bit and he tried some stuff okay, so when you go a little bit off sometimes it doesn't work, and I felt like
Mm.
it really was K's night, and Gab gave everything he had, but he was not winning this night against Case.
No, yeah, it was definitely Caius's fight, and you know, like like it was just pure power versus power, and like you said, with Caius, like that game of inches, if counter punching was really his thing, because like I said, I'm not always 100% paying attention to everything when I'm at a show, but like those games, sometimes you don't need those big dodges, huh? You don't need those big slips and big like Mike Tyson peekaboo style type,
Uh-huh.
head movement stuff, sometimes all you need is literally
Yeah.
is that you need them to miss this much. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You need people to miss that much, just a little, that little much.
Yeah.
And if he's not touching you, he's not touching you. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter if it's by this or by this, but if it's by this and he doesn't touch you by that, first of all, that creates like, oh, you know what I mean? Oh, I thought I had him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Oh, I thought I had him. And
Yeah.
then the fact that you're like, I'm already there. So you missed me by this much, but I'm already back. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So
That's exactly what it was.
so good for Caius, man, and
Mm-hmm.
congratulations for victory, man.
100%. One guy that has that like Mike Tyson, like whoop whoop whoop.
Mhm.
It's the next winner, man. Matson Leon. All he does is win, 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 and
No
like
matter what.
yeah. And bro, and one more belt, fourth belt of the year for Matson Leon.
Yeah.
9 fight, 9 win. Fought a beautiful fight against Dave Carpel. Dave Carpel was very close to get the to get on top of Matson. Honestly, in the fifth round, like I was far, but from what I saw, that very last shot of the fight that David landed kind of wobbled Matson. Who it looked like Matson took the fifth round off a little bit, and like maybe he was just tired.
It's possible.
Had
Eh,
won the fight already on the cards. He had 3 rounds in the pocket, if not the first four. But
mhm.
that fifth round, man, the way Carpel came out in the fifth round was really impressive.
But to see, that's the thing. I think that's one of Carpel's like strength is he's basically a Terminator. Like he never, if he's tired, he doesn't look tired. You know what I mean? He looks like he's in amazing shape. Matson is quick on his feet. Even when there was like a slip and he'd fall, he's like, I don't know if you saw a
Yeah.
couple, he would just boom,
Ooh. Yeah.
bro, he was up so quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He wasted zero time staying on the floor. He was like a springy motherfucker.
Yeah.
But both of them put on like an amazing display. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? David really was utilizing his kicks very, very nice on Matson, when he was able to land them and stuff like that. And it was just it was just a really nice, really nice fight, and I'm happy for both of them. You know, they're
Oh
both
yeah.
top tier guys. They, they fought, I believe, quite a bit, both of them recently, like in the
Oh
last year.
yeah.
You
Very
know what I
active
mean?
fighters.
Very active, both of them, and the fight for the WKFQ was, that matchup. It was the matchup.
Oh,
I'm very
beautiful
happy
fight.
about that one.
And honestly, I was happy because, and I don't know if that's weird, but those are two black fighters,
Mhm.
two French Quebecer black fighters fighting for a belt, and I felt proud of that. Like I was like,
Yeah,
that's something. Like two black fighters fighting for a belt. Like I was happy for them, man. I was like,
but
I think
yeah,
you know what I mean. Like we did, like we know racism and stuff, sports and like, but those are two of the top best fighters we have, and they represent their origin so well. And I had a moment, and I'm like, that's something that's going on now. Two
but yeah.
Quebecer, French Canadian, black guy fighting for the belt. I'm like, I was proud, man.
Oh, dude, you know what? It is something cool because that's the thing with fighting. There is no there's fight culture, but there's no it's seasonal
Barriers. There's no.
barriers. Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like I'm like uh, the, there's no color for fighting. There's no color. It's the same thing with music. Music doesn't have colors. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like whatever colors you make up in your head when you have your eyes closed. Yeah, sure. Depending on what mushrooms you kind of took. But but like it is a prideful thing for anybody to be at the top of their game. You know what I mean? And to represent a community, that's been ever growing. And like, look, I'm sure we all know like more than a few Quebecers who are they are less than friendly with
Uh-huh.
certain cultures. You know what I mean? My mom's from Trinidad. And Tobago. My family literally has been a mix of like everything. You know what I mean? I have a Chinese uncle, but he talk like this now. You know what I mean? Like it's wild. But it's amazing that like people are getting the recognitions, and people have been dealing with shit for always here. You know what I mean? It never ends. So you're right. It's amazing for them to be able to represent the community. You know what I mean? And like show like because maybe some of the younger black kids don't see a representation of
Yeah.
themselves in the market in the fight game. You know
Uh-huh.
what I mean? So for them to see that, because even my cousin, he's a Kyokushin black belt. I mentioned him last podcast, but he's a black dude, and he always cheers for the brothers. He
Yeah.
always cheers for the brothers. He's like, man, I want the black dude to win. I'm like, why, bro? Huh? Why? So I was like, he's playing the Uno reverse card, but you know, but yeah, like he has a sense of pride when he sees, you know, basically himself represented,
Yeah.
so great for them and fighting for the belt,
Yeah.
the belt.
On such a big stage, man. Olympia card, like it was beautiful. And I'm
Yeah.
sorry I did not consult you before, but this was Fight 1-4's fight of the night. Matson Leon versus
Oh,
David Carpel.
oh no, dude, I'm totally on board with it. You don't need to consult me for that shit. You know what I mean? I love these
Because
boys.
the fight that got elected fight of the night was Mike Jones versus Adel Daras.
Yeah.
But I believe you guys announced it before, maybe before the main event, just after
Think so.
Carpel Leon.
Yeah.
So people couldn't really vote for David versus Madsen because
Mhm.
you guys took the vote before anyway. And Mike Jones
Yeah.
versus Adel Dara was a beautiful fight, but I felt like it was too one-sided on Mike Jones' side to be fight of the night. Like
Yeah,
it was,
because once Mike found his groove, he found his groove, and that was it.
yeah, like
That's all she did.
Adel did everything he could to stay in there, but he didn't have much for Mike. And then Bunge versus Zhao could have been fight of the night too, but it got too crazy. Like it was not perfect. But Matson
Mhm.
versus David to me was the exact representation of fight of the night because Matson like just kept going higher and higher. Like the more the fight advanced, Matson was getting better and better.
Mhm.
And at the end, man, but David was always there. David was always there to never got wobble, never got anything. But
No.
Madsen was just one step ahead, always. Again, him, Matson, and Nathan, they have the same style. They just go forward all the time. They go forward, they
Yeah.
pressure, and
And
that's
they're literally like a jack in the box. They're down and they're like bop bop bop
yeah,
bop bop bop, get their little combos
yeah.
in, and then they're like they reassess the situation. You
Which
know what
is
I mean?
why their fight last time at EFL got
Okay.
us so
It
crazy,
was so good.
man.
That shit was Dragon Ball Z and a half, man. You
Yeah.
kidding me?
And
Damn.
even Conrad, he was like, "Yo, this fight, Nata versus Matson, that was like, even Conrad Pla was blown away
I was
by this
blown
fight."
away. Yeah, but it was honestly, it was beautiful. It
Oh
was.
man.
I'll talk about. I'll tell my grandkids. You guys want? You want to know about a fight?
Yeah,
You know what I
but
mean?
we'll talk about this fight in the coming weeks, guys. For the holidays, Alec and I were gonna do something good where we recap all of the shows this year, and we're
Yeah.
gonna talk about the craziest fight, and this is gonna be one of them. But to get back to this co-main event, Matson really took over, but then, like I said earlier, I feel like in the fifth, he either lift his foot off the gas or he got exhausted or a little bit of both. But David went Matson Leon on Matson Leon.
Yeah.
David's like, okay, who cares? Like, I'm just gonna go forward and throw strikes from now on. And Matson kind of let him do that, which made the round go way in the favor of David Carpel. And like I
Yeah.
said, in the end, man, he almost got Madsen, man, which made for this fight to be like a really, really entertaining
Good.
fight.
Yeah, man. And you know what? I would love to see it again. There's a lot of fights I would love to see again. You know what I mean? Like maybe even going back a little bit, maybe even Sam and Dan need to have another one. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
so who knows? But you're absolutely right. This was a hell of a fight from what I've caught because as it gets closer to the main event, it feels like, and like
Yeah.
a couple of times actually, and it was during this fight. I'm watching it and I'm just like into it. And then Phil comes to talk to me and he puts his hand on my shoulder and right away I go like this because I'm snapping out of it. And he goes, "Yo, relax, man, relax." He goes, "Police aren't coming. The SWAT team's not coming. It's a kickboxing event. Relax." And I'm like, okay. And then he
Bro,
tells
you
me
got
some
it
stuff.
so well.
Yeah, but that because it happened like 3 times. And then he goes and I'm back into it, and then he taps me on it, and he goes, "Man, relax, man, relax." I was like, okay.
Yeah,
because I
so
get sorry.
so happy for no, I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah,
So
no,
happy for Matson who's get another belt, and like I said, David, man, Matson has been doing like martial arts for 15 years, and David for 2-3 years. So it's like, bro,
he's a dog, man. He's a
yeah,
dog. You
yeah.
know.
But it's time, bro. It's time. And like
I
I
can't say
told
that.
you in the ring after the event, after the main event, I'm like, yo, I really felt in this moment like it was your moment. Like just like Madsen in his fight, like you keep getting better and better and you get your groove like through the night. But when you announce that main event, bro, something clicked. Like I've never seen you like that. Like
Really?
oh, bro, I'm telling. I have the image in my head right now when you announce the fighter, and when you announce Meana, you kind of have your back like towards the facing the crowd, but
Mhm.
you announced him, and then you turn to the crowd like to let them know that you're screaming for the crowd, and the it's we're gonna talk about what you saw in Meana's eye in a moment because I heard you say that to him after the fight. But
Mhm.
what I saw in your eyes in that moment, bro, that was crazy. I really saw like the picture of like an anime announcer in anime. Bro, I was like, yo, this guy is so good. And I told
Bro,
Conrad, man, how good is Alec, man? And honestly, like you're getting so good at this, and like the way you build up the night to get to this point to the main event, man. It was honestly, bro. I
stop.
go back and watch that, man. That was beautiful, man.
You know what? Thank you, bro. Thank you so much for that. Really, like, I really do appreciate. I can't stop smiling. I really do appreciate that because I have like this really bad habit where like I don't think I'm doing good till somebody tells me I'm doing good. You know what I mean?
No,
Like
you
I'll
are,
ask Phil
man.
all night, "Am I doing okay?" He's like, "Yeah, man, relax." Like I'm not gonna get back into that. But like even after that, he came up to me and he goes, "You know, man, I'm really proud of you, eh?" And I was like, and then my wife is there because she cries at anything. She's Yeah.
Even your French, man, it's getting better.
Yeah, dude, I'm practicing, man. I'm practicing, and I've been actually watching a bit of this show called I think it's called La Cage. It's with
Yeah,
Georges Saint Pierre's in it and stuff
yeah,
like that, and
bro. I didn't think that was good, man.
yeah, you know,
Oof. But
I
for
was.
French, it's okay.
It's helping me learn, bro.
Yeah,
It's
that
helping me
that's
learn, you know.
yeah.
So, but yeah,
And
honestly,
yeah, if Phil is telling you you're doing a good job, this Phil is such a gangster, man. That
yeah,
like,
yeah,
if he
exactly.
allows you and I to stay there, and like he is so like loyal, Phil. Like he's so like we are his guys like forever. I feel
Oh,
like
dude,
yeah,
I told Phil too, man. When I start doing professional shows and I fucking get signed to I don't know whatever it might be. Yeah, even if I'm UFC in one day, you know what I mean. I'm like, I'll come back and do your shows for free, my friend. You know what I mean? Like that. That's because like I'll never forget. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like 9/11, never forget. But like it's a good like it's the opposite of 9/11. It's a good thing, you know, to
yeah,
never forget. So um but yeah, man, thank you very
yeah.
much. Even my wife said she's like, "What the fuck happened there?" You know what I mean? And then my kid was like, "What?" You know. And then, but it was. Thank you very much, man.
And what the fuck happened in this fight, man?
Dude. Well,
Oh
actually,
my god.
that's what I was getting at. Number one, Mayana. Like I've met him before at the smokers. I've met him at the smokers in Verdun. I've met him at the smokers in Silvertooth and stuff like that. That's where I messed up his name like 60 times, and he just looked at me like, and I was like, you know. And then, dude, even afterwards, like what I said last week about his coach, I said like the guy's got a serious face. I can never tell if he's
Yeah.
mean mugging me in the ring. He's like, yo, Ryan. He says
Uh,
you mean mug him. I'm like,
yeah,
I never said that. He was
I
trying to get me.
know.
I was
He
like, what
put you on the spot, bro. I was like,
bro? Put me
oh.
on blast. I'm like, I'm in a suit and you're putting me on blast, dog. Like, what the fuck? You know?
Yeah, no, man. We said it last week. Like this guy he's a genius, like
He's
inside the ring, and such a cool guy outside. But that was like the performance of a lifetime that we saw, man.
dude. Honestly, I okay. It's gonna sound so ridiculous. Okay, it's gonna sound so ridiculous. But when I looked in his eyes on stage, they looked black. Like they looked just black. Like he's brown eyes, and I saw the color of them afterwards. They looked normal after the fight. You know what I mean? And but honestly, like they looked black. They looked like glossed over. Like he wasn't even there. You know what I mean? Like his head was about to spin like 6 times. You know what I mean? And like he was just gonna go in like a man possessed. Like
He
honestly.
was he was changing into a werewolf.
Yo, but honestly, with all that hair, right? but he just I don't know, man. He's like it was like when people do that like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
kind of thing. It was literally like his face fucking
Yeah,
changed, his attitude changed. Like presence wise, like there was something in the ring. You know what I mean? Like something was in. I don't, bro. I can't explain it. There was something in the ring. You
you
know.
couldn't wait to jump out of the ring.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't want to be there anymore. You know what I mean? And and yeah, no, dude, it was nuts. It was nuts. And then he was fucking mean. He was mean in the ring. He was so lethal. The way he was ripping those kicks, bah, bah, and like he was like throwing his body into the kicks. I don't know if you saw
oh yeah,
Raheb, his leg. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
Raheb Kebo. Let's not forget to mention his opponent as well.
of course.
But his leg was like dented, bro. It had bruises, and the bruises were making faces that said "ow" on them. You know what I mean?
And honestly, man, I hope he's fine because it was scary at the end of the way. The first off, there's so many things. He started the fight so well. Raib Rebor, his opponent from Silvertooth's gym.
So
I'm,
sick,
I
so
was like,
sick.
oh, and I know like Meana lost his last fight, and then Raib comes out super punching hard and like not like he touched Meana a little bit, and I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
I don't know if this fight's gonna go well for Meana. Of course, next thing we know, Meana changed into the werewolf, and
But
he
you know what it was? It was the leg kicks because he broke him down. You
yeah
know what I mean? He literally stopped him.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Raeb, he was starting to fucking get his groove and really like feel comfortable into
yeah,
something. And I think Mayana just took away his posts. He took away his stilts. He
yeah,
took away his the ground in which he walks on. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like we all know how much it sucks to get a good leg kick. You know what I
Oh,
mean? But the ones that leave a dent and the ones that leave bruises in your leg, you know what I mean? Like bro, why? Like
yeah,
so. That I think to me that completely turned around the game. And then when people were saying you were hearing the crowd, look at his leg, and
oh yeah.
they're like get his leg, and they bam,
Oh,
bam, 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 and then that's when he started to pour on him, and you know
oh
what I
my
mean?
god, the feints, bro, man. It was a clinic. Like it
You
was
know,
so
he
good.
went.
Like
At one
con.
point, he goes, "What was it? He does this or something, bam, or like he lifted up his hand and then just kicked him. He did
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, he's getting, he's getting disrespectful.
Oh
He's
yeah,
getting, like he's getting.
bro. Even Conrad Pla couldn't believe his eyes. Like he was like, because it kept getting better and better. Raeb had a good first minute, but after on it was done. Like Meana's like, oh yeah, no, you're done. G.
Done, done.
Like you said, chop the leg like smoothly at first. So first round, okay, I'm just gonna show you like I can kick you in like 5 times. And Conrad and I were like, he's gonna have to check those kicks or get out of the way. And he never switched stance like Raeb. He just took on getting
Punishment
beat.
and punishment and
Ah,
punishment.
and the second round, like Meana took over, but again, he didn't like put his foot on the gas. He's like, I'm just gonna keep chopping and chopping. But
No,
that
it's
third round, man, oh my god,
insane, insane. And you know what the thing is too? It's like it's a lot of these guys when they're thicker. They look at the skinny guys and they go, you
yeah,
fucking skinny guys. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
As a fellow skinny guy, all right, I'll tell you that we're very, very bony.
yeah,
And when you drink your milk, the bones hurt. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So um that's what some people need to realize. Like Mayana, he's got that long posture for his size. You know what I mean? For his weight class and stuff like that. He's a long guy. He's got he's got the shins that come
oh
out.
man,
He's got the protruding shins.
yeah,
That shit hurts. Like when you ever spar with like a girl in class and you go, okay, let's go light, like without pads, and then the girl kicks you and you're like, fuck, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
it's not,
shins,
it's their shin.
yeah,
It's because they got them bony shins. They hurt. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
the exact same thing. Those shins dug right into his leg, broke him down until he landed the knockout of the decade, maybe.
But that's the thing, bro.
Mm.
We'll get into that, but that was
Yeah.
something else. But yeah, you're so right, man. Meana is not like the muscular kind of guy. You're like people that, of course, I know him, and I wouldn't stand
Yeah. No, that's different.
a
We know.
100 yards close to him in a boxing ring. I wouldn't dare
Mhm.
stepping up against him in sparring. But he doesn't look scary like maybe when he has black. But you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
sometimes you see those tough, muscular guys, and you're like, oh, this is a bad boy. But
They,
Meana is the proof that you don't have to have muscle to be a bad motherfucker, man.
they know, man. They know.
This guy is so mean. He is the meanest fighter I've ever seen. Like
Fucking treacherous, man. The way he came out,
it's
he
he
was.
is so lethal. Like he is so good. Like it's crazy, bro. But yeah, third round, Raeb has no legs anymore. He can't walk for shit.
No, he was like a
And
block.
he just lift his guard and doesn't move. And Meana is like boop 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 boop. Then bam 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 bam. Like it's beautiful.
Insane.
And the feints when he feints the kick,
Hmm.
and then he just pushes Raeb's guard and then comes up with the hook and then chopping low kicks. You're like, oh my god.
And but like it was so consistent. Bam, 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 bam. That shit. Bam, bam, every fucking
And
time.
the way his legs whips, it almost lifts up to his head, and then boom, it just comes
It's
back. You're like,
insane, man. Insane, man.
but yeah, bro, that final like exchange, that knockout blow, almost felt like he didn't touch Raeb, but Raeb went back on the ropes and he's just like, I'm done, and then felt on
Yeah,
his knees, and you're like, what happened? Guy
yeah.
was done.
But
So
when I think he rocked the shit out of him with a punch first, and I think the kick grazed just grazed this area. You know, from what I've seen in like a cell phone replay, right? I could be wrong, but and by the way, Mayana's legs, like his kicking leg throughout the fight, bro, was getting or it was just like every round it was looking more and more just like a strawberry, like it was just getting pink and red and pink and like it was getting dark, you know. And from what I saw in the replay, he just it caught like top, like
yeah,
maybe temple area, just and like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
those
Of
skins,
course,
man,
I know, bro.
they
But
still do as
there
much
was
damage
a
as the land.
2-3 seconds where Raib was still there.
Yeah.
Like it's not like he just got he was still there, but then he's like, I don't want to do this shit anymore. Like
Yeah.
it's not worth it.
Bro, his body just like said, his body
Yeah,
said, no, no, thank you.
yeah,
No,
exactly.
no, no, merci.
Yeah,
You know?
and then he's back in the corner, and like it got scary, and like people I know who watched the fight close from the ring texted me after, and they're like, "Hey, yo, you have any news from Raeb, man? Is he all right?" Because
Mhm.
and man, even Meana was like, I feel bad right now. I wish I was happy for my win, but I feel bad for Raeb, man. He
Yeah,
was
I heard him even saying, we're stressing, and I was just going on my cell phone just to get a message I had received literally the next morning from the WKFQ, from Marc Joseph Belanger from the WKFQ, and basically the doctor has to step in. He's asking for protocol for the crowd to stay away, to allow the fighter to have some room to breathe and stuff like that, because there was a lot of and I found this very disrespectful, is that there was a lot of guys who were coming with their cell phones and they're like idiots, and they're trying to get a photo of Rahib, or video of him
yeah,
on the floor, which to me, it's fuck you. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
why? You know what I
Why?
mean? The
Yeah,
guy's out. Let him
yeah, yeah,
be.
yeah.
You know,
Of course.
and so they're changing their protocol to make sure that things will be. So if things happen like this, basically at every and any event, out of respect for the fallen fighters, empathy and compassion for family members watching or streaming, otherwise, they're gonna ask to try and maybe cut the stream from the ring to something different. You know what I mean? Maybe get the commentators more
Yeah,
airtime. Ask the crowds to not be taking pictures or photos,
of
or to
course.
approach the ring, or do any of that stuff. You know what I mean? For the winner, it's okay, but wait until the doctors have cleared the guy out of the ring. Because even when I saw the WKFQ and the coaches and stuff were trying to carry him out of the ring, there's a bunch of fucking people down there, and they're all trying to see,
Uh-huh.
when you see people with a car accident, everybody slows down.
Yeah, yeah,
It's the same shit, but it's not the time or place, man. This guy
yeah.
was on
No.
the biggest stage ever. He got knocked out in an insane fashion. People were screaming their heads off for the win, and you're lying there. And me, I'm looking down. I see. I don't know if I'm seeing blood or if it's just like the red light, reflecting off his chest. I don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? But I don't want to get too close either, because I'm no doctor. What am I gonna do
Yeah.
for him? Are
Yeah.
you okay? You know what I mean? Like, that's it. So,
Yeah,
but
people have some respect, man.
have some respect for the fighters, man. And right away, I got a message like, we're changing protocol. We want to make things more safe for when these situations occur, and to allow the doctor and the staff to actually take care of the fighter. Like you said before, this is amateur, and they want to take care of the amateur fighters. If any of these people are planning on going pro, or they're fighting and that's their dream for going pro, the WKFQ wants to make sure they get there.
Mhm.
So right away, I got a message. I wasn't able to respond right away, but they're we're asking for your help as well as the MC, to be ladies and gentlemen, make some space. Let's everybody take a moment, and let's hope for this fighter to get
Uh-huh.
better. And then when the fighter gets better, actually give a round of applause for the fighter that gets better. But we live in the
Yeah.
world, I don't know, world star hip hop nation. I
Yeah,
don't know if
yeah,
that
yeah.
makes me old saying shit like that, but you know what I mean.
World
But like
star.
world star, you know that that
Yeah.
shit. But it's true,
Hmm.
and then yeah, Mayana right afterwards was like he was like a different guy again. He's laughing jokes. He's saying, Max, you're the best. Your interviews are the best,
Yeah.
And then he put me on blast, and then he and then like he was just talking with everybody like it was normal. And then at one point, I heard him look at somebody. He goes, he's like, I'm stressing, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm stressing a little bit right
Oh
now.
yeah. Yeah.
Like
Hopefully we'll get some news because I even texted Phil, but I know Phil is always like off his phone like 2 to 3 days after an event because, bro,
oh yeah,
relax.
relax.
But hopefully, Raeb is good. And
I
but bro,
messaged him. I wrote, hope you have a speedy recovery, bro. Hope to see you in the ring again soon. And he wrote, thank you very much, brother. Much love. And I wrote nothing but love, bro. And
mm,
so
okay,
he seems to be okay.
that's
You know
it.
what I mean? A lot of the guys who lose, who I talk to, make a little connection. You know what I mean? Or let's not say lose. They have a harder learning experience than the other ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I always try and give them a little shout out, just to say what's up afterwards. Make sure that they're in good spirits. So you know what I mean?
But man, let's not take anything away from Miana's performance. That was one of the best performance I ever witnessed here in Quebec. This guy he really took a step. Like he was mean.
Mm-hmm.
He been mean, but this time it got like horror movie type shit mean.
Yeah,
Like it was like this guy is a whoa no like
big
and
time.
I told Conrad I'm like nobody's gonna want to fight him now. Like forget
Well,
about it.
and I may be crazy. I don't know. Call me kooky, call me wacky, but I think he told me that nobody wanted to fight him at 155.
Of course, man.
I think he told me no.
155, bro. He's 139.
I is that 139? Yeah, he is at 139. I don't know. I don't know if it was him or somebody else telling me that nobody wants to fight him at their weight, so he had to
But
drop.
I think honestly, I think I because there's so many super fights you can do with him with the 47 because we know the 47 is the deepest division we have in Quebec.
But that
Imagine
was
him,
that was Anis, that was Rabishan, that was
Madsen.
Matson.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly. So that's the league. So maybe it was 147 he dropped. Sorry, not 155. Sorry.
that's big.
Yeah.
But no, I believe Miana has always been a 39, even maybe a 32 because
Really?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe it was somebody else who told me that nobody wanted to scrap with him then.
Yeah, probably. But Meana, he's not gonna find any opponent soon. What or if you're willing to step into the ring and try yourself against Meana, please train hard.
Yeah.
Please.
Please, yeah, for real. Like, do yourself a favor and
Yeah,
pray to God. Like, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like,
Because I'm
uh,
sure some guys from Ontario and from out west or even the Maritimes, they don't really know who Meana is. But
no.
if you're a fighter here in Quebec, you're
Oh,
at
you know. Oh, you
like
know. You know.
what? Like,
You don't know, now you
and
know.
let before we leave because it has already been an hour and a half. We
Yeah.
gotta address what Meana said after the fight. He said like there's going to be pro kickboxing in Quebec in 2025. So, Meana, have you heard anything? Do you know any information?
Yeah,
We
reach
don't
out, dog.
know. Like,
Reach
what's
out,
going
dog.
on? WKFQ. Is there anything you know about that?
Yeah,
Uh,
Dave.
Silvertooth, what's up? Because
Because I haven't heard about this. This was the first I'm hearing about this, unless this is like something that's new that has just come up. You know what I mean? But
and I did that interview with Dave like a month ago maybe, and he told me like in 2025 big things are gonna happen. Like he wants to do a tournament, like a huge tournament, like they do in Ontario, like a 2 to 3 days big ass tournament with multiple
oh,
fights. Like that's gonna happen, and like of course he's working to get Muay Thai legalized, and eventually would love to have like pro kickboxing because guys at the level of Matson and Meana, like they should imagine we have pro like and not just like two. Let's you have like a silver tooth card with like B class and A class, but then you have like two
The
or three pro
pro.
fights. Like,
Wow, man. Wow, man. You got my head. I'm like anyways, I'm just seeing like possibilities in my head. You know what I
oh
mean?
yeah,
So plus also, man, next year we got some cool ideas for you guys too. So you know what I mean? It's gonna be a very
stay
busy year.
tuned. Stay tuned. We might be back next Tuesday, or we may not. It's the holidays. There's no shows left. I might go to Quebec City uh, in 2 Saturdays, so maybe we can talk about Quebec City a little bit too, because they have their own shows back there.
Okay, cool.
But one thing is sure is during the holidays, you and I are gonna do a special holiday show with fight of the night, fight of the year, everything of the year. Fight 1-4, fight of the year, fighter of the year, comeback fighter of the year, like all that good stuff. Where Alek and I are gonna give you a nice holiday gift, guys.
Yeah, guys, we're gonna slowly talk over the next couple of weeks, go over what happened this year, see if we can get some fight replays and stuff like that sent out to each
Uh-huh.
other. I'll talk to Phil, I'll talk to Justin,
Yeah.
and see if we can maybe we can reach out to Younes and whoever else if we
Oh
can
yeah.
to see if we can get some amateur footage of
Definitely, G.
of some of the fights, and we can even review some of the highlights. You know what I mean?
But
Maybe we
bro,
can even reach out to the leagues and say, yo, give us your highlight reels. And
hundred
like
percent.
that would be really cool if they can make us a nice, each of them their own highlight reels on what they thought was the best moments and best things of what they thought as well, so
Yeah.
and maybe it would be cool eventually to get all these promoters in one room on a podcast too and see
Oh
what's going to
man,
happen in the future,
imagine. Or
right?
we're 100% gonna reach out to all the promoters in Montreal, and we can even like make them ask people to vote for, like, let's say Silvertooth puts on a poll and like, what was your fight of the year, fighter of the year, blah blah blah,
Yeah,
and all
exactly.
of the promotions do that, and then we can, like, in our end of the year show, and now we're just like brainstorming on live,
On
like
air.
on our show. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but there's so many things to do,
So we have like my fight of the year. We have your fight of the year, but we also have the people's fight of the year on our show. Like we can have like three awards
Yes.
to give.
Yeah. And I would love to know what the people think, man. Because honestly, um, if we do a special show in a couple of weeks, like we'll build up the
Yeah.
hype to it and stuff like that. But I just want to say um that this podcast was something that we had to start because the scene this year has just been
Oh
absolutely
yeah.
ridiculous,
Yeah.
ridiculous, ridiculous. You know what I mean? From start to finish, it's been an absolutely wild year. And thank you to all the promotions, the coaches, the fighters, and everybody that they train with and they love, who support them and support us. Thank you.
Oh yeah, guys. Share, like, and subscribe. Follow Fight 14 podcast on Instagram. Maxime Karabine, Karabine with a K. Alek Speconia, the best announcer in the world. And yeah, we're gonna definitely be back in a couple of days for sure. That was a blast, man. Over an hour and a half, because Silvertooth Promotions Olympia card is always gonna be amazing, and
That's insane.
this was no exception.
No exception at all. They were above and beyond, above and beyond.
Yes, sir. All
I'm
right.
looking
Talk to
forward to
you
the next one.
soon, G, and take care at home.
You too, brother. Take care. Have a good one.